seconds.
Yep. The November 17, 2023 Oregon State Lottery Commission meeting is now in session. Today's meeting is being live streamed on the internet and a link is posted on the Oregon Lottery website. It's noted for the record that commissioners are attending this meeting via the web. Commissioner Ramirez is excused and a quorum of commissioners is present for today's meeting. Director Wells is absent and interim director, deputy director Calandreo is attending in his absence. Will the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Patel?
Here.
Commissioner Weller?
Here.
Commissioner Wilcox?
Here.
Chair Safoff?
Here. Will the clerk also inform the commissioners of any guests who have joined the meeting today?
As of right now, we don't have any guests joining.
Thank you. I wanted to take a moment to offer my own and the commission's condolences to Director Mike Wells and his family. Mike's wife passed early this morning after struggling with cancer for a few years. And we wanted to express our sorrow at this difficult time for everyone, particularly Mike and his family, and to let Mike know that our hearts and prayers go out to him, and to please keep the commission informed as to arrangements and how he's doing. I know we'd all like in our own way to help support. With that, the members of the public had the opportunity to provide written comments to the commission for this meeting. But I'd like Elisa to confirm that we had no public comments to review. Is that correct?
That is correct. We did not receive any public comment.
Okay, thank you. With that, let's move to Interim Deputy Director Ty Calandreo and for her report, for the director's report.
Good morning, Chair Safoff and commissioners. It has only been a few weeks since our last meeting, so today's report will be relatively short. Today, I will cover lottery news, provide you all a sales update, and share a few winner stories. So about 20 team members recently traveled to Wisconsin to attend the North American Association of State and Provincial Lotteries, or NASPL, conference. It was a great opportunity to connect with direct counterparts in other state lotteries, and of course, see emerging technologies and gather ideas to improve operations. A few examples of what the team saw was a new way to connect directly to a retailer sales platform, some ideas for enhanced tracking for Scratch It ticket activation, Scratch It digital display menu boards, and some additional tools for increasing security. Last year, we also added our first electric vehicle to our fleet, and now we've just added our first plug-in hybrid minivan that provides our Portland Metro operations a larger 520-mile range. We look forward to the test results and what it may mean for reducing our impact to the environment through our operations. And then last time I was here too, I also talked about the statewide charitable fund drive. So to close the loop on that, the month-long drive raised $16,303 for nonprofits across Oregon. Lottery employees generously pledged approximately $6,000 more in donations compared to last year, with a silent auction giving our efforts a boost. So thank you to all of those who donated. We really appreciate it. So on to sales. The $20 holiday game is leading all other seasonal price points, which follows the larger trend of players purchasing higher price point tickets. The average ticket purchase is $4.16 to date, about $1 above 2018 numbers. It's also worth noting $1 and $2 holiday tickets are ahead of last year's sales by nearly 10%. And overall, Scratch It sales are even with last year. For jackpot games, Powerball and Mega Millions reached $1 billion plus jackpots 3 times this business year, and that's 2 months ahead of 3 similar jackpots last year. So as a result, traditional game sales are boosted, up 5.7% from last year. And for other products, sports betting turnover, the amount wagered is up 127% from last year, and we see registrations rising and an increase in dollars spent. The average bet amount decreased with more people playing. Video lottery is down slightly, about 1.1% from this time last year. And last but not least, let's talk about a few winners. Tori R. of Wheeler tried playing Big City 5 Diamonds for the first time at Manzanita Lighthouse Pub and Grub. His beginner's luck paid off with an exciting win of $12,560.20. Tori and his girlfriend are going to use the prize to purchase some new ski gear. Kimberly S. decided to treat herself to some me time at Watkins Park Pub in Clackamas. And she doesn't usually play video lottery, but felt like trying her luck, putting in $20. To her surprise, she hit the Big City 5 Diamonds jackpot for $9,548.85 on her third spin. And Kimberly plans to use the money towards the purchase of a much needed new car. A player betting on NFL sports this month hit it big, wagering on the Commanders versus Patriots game. The customer bet $20 and collected $65,020. The wager included player prop bets and other selections with a low probability of winning, which accounts for the large payout. And with that, that concludes this month's director's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. Are there any questions or comments from the commission?
I want to give a hats off to everyone at the lottery that participated in the charitable fund drive. I know from my former state service, that's a big deal, and it's a big deal for the state and provides much needed funds going to really good causes. So thanks for everyone at the lottery for that.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Great acknowledgement, Julie. Thank you. Hearing no more questions or comments, let's move to the minutes of the previous meeting. The minutes of the previous commission meeting have been circulated to the commission in advance of today's meeting. If there are no changes to the minutes, is there a motion to approve?
I move that the minutes of the Oregon State Lottery Commission meeting held on October 27th, 2023 be approved as final as presented today.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Weller,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox,
Aye.
Chair Satthoff.
Aye. For the record, the motion is passed. Next, let's welcome Monique Favre, who will be providing the financial report today.
Hi, Monique, you are on mute.
I'm not hearing, is Monique?
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought I unmuted and I didn't.
That's okay.
Apologies. Good morning. Let me try this again. Chair Satthoff, Commissioners, Interim Deputy Director Calandriello. For the record, my name is Monique Favre, Financial Reporting Manager for the Oregon Lottery. I am presenting on behalf of Kathy Ortega. Today, we will go over the financial report for the month of October. On the October operating statement, net revenues for the month are $123.8 million on a budget of $118.3 million. This is a $5.5 million favorable variance to budget. Net profit for the month is $79.3 million on a budget of $71 million. This is a variance of $8.3 million favorable to budget. On the year-to-date operating statement, net revenues year-to-date are $479.3 million on a budget of $468.1 million. This is a $11.2 million favorable variance to budget. Net profits year-to-date are $293.2 million on a budget of $271 million. This is a $22.2 million favorable variance to budget. The negative variances to note are commissions, advertising, interest expense, salaries and wages, and services and supplies. During October, we recorded better than forecasted traditional sales, causing an unfavorable commission variance of $1.4 million. This amount was offset by lower than forecasted video sales, reducing the total commission variance to approximately $1 million. From a year-to-date perspective, commission rates for both traditional and video surpass forecasted amounts. Combining this with higher traditional sales but lower video sales compared to budget has generated a negative variance of $3.7 million. The advertising unfavorable variance for the month is a timing difference based on the budget methodology used. This will be reviewed during the mid-year budget adjustments. Interest expense for October and year-to-date is tied to the Video iLinks lease payment schedule. The account has been reviewed and these expenses will be examined during the mid-year budget cycle as well. As explained in previous months, the salaries and wages monthly and year-to-date negative variances are due to a formula error to be corrected during the mid-year revisions. The following explanations pertain to the services and supplies variances identified in the supplemental schedule. The lottery is working on a budget for the retailer network expenses, but the vendor has not provided an implementation plan. Budget development will be forthcoming. The October variance for intergovernmental charges was caused from higher than expected DAS expenses, but the residual budget year-to-date will absorb the overage of $6K. The unfavorable monthly variance for other services and supplies is mainly attributable to the timing of miscellaneous small parts and tool costs and security services. These expenses will be reviewed during the mid-year cycle to determine if adjustments are necessary. The year-to-date facilities maintenance variance is related to the accounting treatment of project costs included as capital outlay, but should be properly budgeted as expense. I also have the balance sheet for your consideration.
Monique, before we move there, could you go back a minute to
Sure.
the services and supplies? And did you indicate it? Look, both on a monthly and a year to date, the technology expenses and the professional services are significantly under budget. Are those timing issues that you referred to, or are there other specific reasons that in particular, maybe the technology expenses?
Yeah, in speaking specifically like professional services, that includes a lot of our contract payments, as we call it. So it really is triggered by when we actually have certain payments related to contract work occur. And so that's difficult, right? To sometimes always evenly spread that across the year or budget, tie that directly to
So that
our
goes
budgeting
back to
process.
spreading, that goes back to the issue of
Yeah.
spreading things equally as opposed to when we might need them, which is something you're looking at, but may not
Yes.
be fixable. And on the technology expense.
Yeah, I would also say that's the same
Same thing
thing
there?
as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I feel like I kind of was repeating myself probably a lot, but it's a lot of this are things that we're looking at in the next budget cycle, and we'll continue to analyze monthly.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And that, just to close out, that's everything I have. So I'd be happy to answer any other questions you might have.
Were you going to go over the balance sheet?
Basic, yeah, I can.
Do you have questions or comments on the balance sheet? Jeff or anyone? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the financial statements?
I move that the Oregon State Lottery financial statements for month ended October 31st, 2023 be approved for the record as presented today.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And will the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Weller,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox,
Aye.
Chair Sathoff.
Aye. For the record, the motion has passed. Thank you, Monique. And let's move on the agenda to our rulemaking and ask Chris Scaro to provide us with her information.
Thank you, Chair Sathoff, Commissioners, Interim Director Calandrello. For the record, my name is Chris Scaro. I'm the Rules and Policy Analyst for Lottery, and I have 2 rulemaking updates for the Commission this month. So first, back in September, Retail Contracts Department proposed a rule change to prohibit retailers and their employees from purchasing winning tickets or cash slips from our players. We heard this was happening at a couple locations, and retail contracts would prefer that our retailers were not facilitating these types of transactions. This conduct is partially addressed in our current rules, but we were advised to state the prohibited conduct more clearly, and so that's the purpose of this rule change. We have completed the rulemaking process required by Oregon law for state agency rulemaking. To summarize the process briefly for the record, we filed notice with the Secretary of State on September 15th. We notified our interested parties, legislators, media, and retailers, provided 6 weeks for the public to comment in writing, and we held a rulemaking hearing as well. We did receive 5 written comments by email, which were provided to the commission and director prior to today's meeting, and they are summarized in today's meeting materials for anyone in our audience who's interested. Director Wells reviewed the rule and considered all comments received, and he did recommend that the commission adopt the rule as it's presented to you today to be effective on December 1st. So happy to answer questions, or you'll have a motion in your materials if you're ready.
Questions or comments from the commission? Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt the proposed rulemaking?
I move that OAR 17704000051 be amended as presented in the meeting materials today, effective December 1st, 2023.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Weller,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox,
Aye.
Chair Sathoff.
Aye. For the record, the motion has passed. Chris, the next rule?
Thank you, Chair. One more to go. So also back in September, and also from our Retail Contracts Department, we proposed a rule change to prohibit retailers from using the word lottery in their assumed business name. We do allow our retailers to advertise that they sell lottery games, but we did have a retailer who wanted to change their name to have lottery in the name, and retail contracts had concerns about that. That particular retailer did not change their name, so this isn't a rules that will affect any current retailers, but we were advised if we wanted to enforce this going forward, we would need a rule. So that is the purpose of this change. Again, we've completed the rulemaking process required by law for state agency rulemaking. Briefly, for the record, we filed notice with the Secretary of State on September 15th. We notified interested parties, legislators, media, and retailers. We provided 6 weeks for the public to comment in writing, and we held a public rulemaking hearing. We did receive 4 comments, which were provided to the commission and the director for their consideration, and they are summarized in today's meeting materials for our audience. Director Wells reviewed the rule and considered all comments received and recommended the commission adopt the rule as it's presented today to be effective on December 1st. Happy to discuss this more, or you'll have a motion in your materials when you're ready.
Chris, did we get any other than maybe the retailer who wanted to use this in their name, any comments about our ability to do this, to tell people they can't use lottery in their name? Any comments like that? I read the summary, but I wasn't able to tell.
So we got one comment who said this, felt like a restriction on their speech.
Free speech, I saw that.
Which is always an issue when you're prohibiting words, but we feel comfortable that we have a legitimate purpose for the restriction. So that was about all we heard on that.
Okay, so I'm going to take it from that you guys feel that you have the legal authority to have this rule. I think the policy reason behind the rule is clear,
Right.
and certainly support that. But I just wanted to know what else you might have looked at. Any other comments or questions from the commission?
I had a meeting with Ty and Matt on, I believe, Monday, wherein this was discussed. And my basic comment to it was, if someone wants to put lottery in their name, I would like to know what lottery they are running. It doesn't say lottery tickets. It says lottery. Okay, if you're running a lottery and you want to abide by the rules and make all the payouts from your own pocket, et cetera, then I would feel that they would have an argument about putting it in there. From my perspective, no, it doesn't belong there.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is there a motion to adopt the proposed rulemaking?
I move that OAR 177-040-0055 be amended as presented in the meeting materials today, effective December 1, 2023.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Patel,
Aye.
Commissioner Weller,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilcox,
Aye.
Chair Sathoff.
Aye. For the record, the motion has passed. Thank you.
Thank
Um,
you.
We are, last on our agenda are commissioner communications and other business, and the first we have on that is audit committee update from Commissioner Patel.
Sorry, 1 second. Pulling up my notes here. So in our audit committee meeting, we went over the governor's new expectation of biannual report outs and the requirements, and the internal audit team is going to be performing that function. We also reviewed current open items, and there were 8 open ones from last year, and there were another 72 that were added, and out of the 72, 67 were from the biannual security audit. And out of the ones that have been closed, close to 70% of the ones that were closed were of high and medium risk. And so it really shows that management's taking an effort to really look at the internal audit recommendations and risks, and all of them are being worked on currently. We also reviewed the internal audit plan for this year, and they're pretty much all well on track. And that's my update.
Questions or comments to Commissioner Patel? Okay, hearing none. This concludes today's meeting of the Oregon State Lottery Commission. The next meeting is scheduled for Friday, December 15. I want to thank you all for attending today's meeting, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.